place that's green in summer, full of flowers and shady trees. It's a place that's full of history, and it has a future too. It's Ashland, Massachusetts, a town for me and you.
Welcome to Ashland's Chronicle. And my guest today is Carolyn
McGee.
McGee. I knew I was going to follow up. At any rate, she is a pet concierge. She has a business here in town, walks lots of dogs, and her people walk the dogs too. And she does other things too. And anyhow, happy to have you here.
Well, thank you. I'm really
Welcome.
excited to be here and spend some time with you and talk about one of my big passions, which is my pet business.
Yes, it should be a big passion.
It is, yeah. It's my baby. I birthed it in 2006. We were talking before the camera started, and I mentioned that I used to work in corporate before that. So I had an engineering management degree, and I worked in a number of different small businesses, helping to create the materials department, the purchasing and shipping and receiving. So I had a lot of experience with creating businesses. And then my dad was an entrepreneur also, so it just seemed natural to me when I was laid off in 2006 to start my own business.
Makes sense.
And it's really worked out for me. It's worked out great. I had my own dog in 2006, and I was always worried about who's going to take care of him. Who's going to let him out midday. Sometimes I'd be running home at lunch to take care of him and make sure that he was provided for. And I wanted to allow people to not worry about their pets, to be able to go to work and know that they're well cared for, or to be able to travel for business and know that their house is taken care of, or go on vacation and know that their pets are happy.
That's great.
Yeah.
And your engineering business degree certainly turns you in the right direction for this.
It did. It served me very well. Having the business background really helped me figure out how to, what do I need to do to start a business? What, forms do I need? What paperwork do I need? I used to install business systems as part of my job when I was doing materials, so I knew how important it was to have good software. So, now I've got I did not create it, but I selected it, a great client portal that my employees use on their phone to check in and out of the jobs, to get all the information about the client and both the animals as well as, access information to the client's home, et cetera. If they need to water plants, do extra things like that. And then the client gets an email with a photo of their dog or their cat at the end of every visit. So it's fun, and I love being creative. I like trying to find even better way to serve.
That's wonderful. I like dogs. Always had dogs. I can't take care of one now, so I don't have one. But I had a whole bunch of standard poodles.
Oh, beautiful dogs.
Yeah, and intelligent.
They're very, very smart. Yes.
I had one mini poodle. Only one. I've never get another one. They demand too much attention. The minis. I mean, we couldn't leave the thing alone, and or it would start crying.
Oh.
So
the dog trained you well.
Train me to stay with standard poodle.
There you go.
But at any rate, I just plain love dogs.
I do too.
But this mini showed us how smart he was. We kept him in our kitchen. We had we had a multi-level house, and the kitchen was large, and so there were times we wanted the dogs in the kitchen.
Yep.
We had two at the time, and so I built doorways or half doors.
Oh, yeah, yep.
In the doorways. There were 3 doorways in that room. And I unfortunately, I was doing it myself and getting material, getting some advice
Yeah.
on materials. At any rate, the doors were a little bit thinner than I wanted them to be, even though I planned it. So I couldn't use common, ordinary door fixtures and
Yep.
knobs and things like that. I had to use cupboard door material instead of the normal size knobs, and I made I built the things, and I just finished them, and the dogs went with me into the kitchen. And the next thing I know, they're out in the other hallway.
They figured out how to open the doors?
That's right. And it had lever type handles on it instead of knobs,
They're so smart.
or a
Yeah.
knob on one side and a handle on the other. And I watched the Mini went in the room, grabbed the handle, walked right through. And
And probably look back to say thank you. That was easy.
so I reversed all of it,
Yeah.
put the knob on the kitchen side.
That's funny.
That was amazing.
It is amazing. And
Yeah.
yeah, they are so smart. You really do need to, take care of them and figure out how to keep them safe. And that's one of the beauties about keeping your animals at home, is that they're in their same environment. They're familiar for them, the scent. A lot of times animals, if they are boarded, they won't eat as well. They have some anxiety. So staying in their own home, which is what my business does, it allows them to feel more comfortable when their owners aren't at home with them.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. The last dog that I had was a Bichon. Now, that's a small dog.
Yeah.
And
They're smart too.
yeah, they're about.
Yeah.
It was about the same size
Yeah.
as a miniature poodle I had, and at any rate, we tried to board the dog in one of the places around town here, and the dog was frightened.
Yeah.
I mean, it was obvious to
Yeah.
me that the dog was frightened, and we cut the visit short, and never went back there.
Yeah.
But that's kind of a difference.
It does make a difference. And there's certain dogs that really thrive in, the environment of a lot of different dogs and a lot of activity. But there's a lot of animals, especially cats, they don't want to go anywhere.
Right.
They're homebodies. They want to be where it's comfortable for them, and they've got all their spots staked out, and, because they're in charge. So
Yeah.
that's what they want to do. And yeah, it's just so much easier for people. And that way, too, their animals are there when they get home. They don't have to worry about picking them up or, the additional step when you come home from either traveling, for business or for pleasure. You're kind of tired at the end of the trip.
Right. I see on your list of things here, when you get dog walks,
Yep.
pet sitting, pet taxi, energy league.
Yes. So I do, I also do a lot of work with the transfer of energy. There's two main modalities, I guess, that I work with. One is called Reiki, It's basically, it's kind of similar to, if you read in the Bible or other places, the laying on of hands. It is an allowing and opening of energy to move through our body. So we're kind of become almost like a portal, like and allow the energy to move through, and it helps to balance the energy of the body. It works for humans, it works for all different types of animals. It's almost as if you're doing acupuncture to open up the energy flow in a body without the needles.
Interesting.
It's very interesting, and it's been around for years. There's been a lot of studies on it. A lot of major hospitals are offering it to people in the recovery room now, because it's been so effective for helping people recover from anesthesia or, from surgeries.
Wow, I had no idea. Absolutely no idea.
Yeah, it's a very, very well-known energy modality. The other one that works really well, and animals love it, because you don't have to be physically touching in order to heal. There's kind of like a band of energy that comes out. So it's like a field almost of energy. And the animals can walk in and out of the energy, so that it's almost like they can take as much as they need to heal, take a little bit of break, come back again. It's very powerful. And the other that I use a lot is called emotional freedom technique. It's also known as EFT, just for short, or tapping. And that is physically tapping on acupuncture meridian points to release the stored energy that's in the body. So it works really great for dogs that have anxiety. It works really well for animals that aren't feeling well. They have fear of fireworks. They have anything that's been trauma related. It will help relieve it from their body. And again, you don't need to be physically touching the animal. You can just tap in the general vicinity of it. I do all of this online too, through the phone. I don't have to be in the physical presence of the animal.
Oh my goodness.
I know, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
It's really amazing.
And this is, well, because you're not actually making physical contact.
No, it's not. It's not physical contact. The animal is in control, which is what you want to do. You want to empower the animal to, come in and either take more energy or not. And what I always like to do, one of the other things listed on my card that you have there is animal communication.
That's very much interesting.
And I love to do it, animal communication. It's also known as like animal psychic. So what I do is connect telepathically with the animal. Telepathy is the transference of pictures, thoughts, and words. So when we all speak, we're sending out an image. And by learning how to see that image, or actually it's more relearning, because if you think about it, if I say the word pencil, you have a brief image of a pencil.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing every time we're talking. We're sending out that image. And our animals are doing the same thing. They're sending us images. And by opening up to receiving those, then I can see those images, translate it for the owners so they know what's going on with their animals. And it's so helpful for, if it's a new animal in a household, why aren't they getting along? If it's an animal that has an unknown history, is there something that they need to know that happened to the animal previously that can help that animal be in a happier situation?
Oh my goodness.
It's so powerful.
Can you give me an example of something?
An example. Well, I did a animal communication session with a client last week. She has a dog that is about a year old and was starting to become very aggressive and had actually bit somebody. And So she was really concerned about what was going on behaviorally with the dog. They had done some training, they had done some other things, but she was really concerned about what was happening with the dog. So when I communicated with the dog, the first thing that she said was, I didn't mean to, but I felt out of control. Nobody's in control of the house. It's a busy household. They've got 3 kids, they've got 2 other dogs, they've got 2 cats, they've got animals that live outside. There's all of this stuff going on, and she felt like she needed to be in charge. So by allowing her to express her opinion, the person who hired me realized that she needed to be more in charge and let the dog feel safe. Give the dog, the dog's a safe place where it's not in the middle of all of that chaos. And it's made a difference.
Wow.
I know. It sounds so simple, but really everybody just wants to be heard, right? Whether it's an animal or if it's a person, you want to be heard, you want to be recognized, you want your needs to be honored.
Oh, boy, I wish I had met you. This is about 30 years ago, something of that order, maybe a little more than 30 years ago. Because, let me give you
Sure.
I'll give you a human example of what you just described. I was in the hospital. I was having a gallbladder taken out. Mm-hmm. And which kind of sneaked up on me. Anyhow, they pulled the gallbladder out, and they put me in a room with another patient. This other patient was disabled in some way, and his interest in life seemed to be listening to the police radio.
Oh my.
And I've forgotten what else. But I hear him. I moved in with him, and he was he had his police radio with him, and he had visitors, and the whole business was making me nervous. And as a matter of fact, as a result, I wound up having a heart attack.
Oh my goodness.
And so it was, I got very anxious. And my son was visiting me at the time, and I knew something was wrong, and I told him to go get the nurse. And he did, and the nurse checked me out quickly and left. And I got worse. And I got a hold of my son again, and I said, hey, go get the nurse, tell her this time to bring a stethoscope. And she came back, and they discovered I was having a heart attack, and I was carried out, taken out, and treated. Thank goodness, they caught it in the early stages.
Yeah, that's great.
But I did get heart damage from it, and then I've been suffering with it ever since. But
yeah, your environment can make a big difference.
Yeah, but that was a case where if you'd been around, maybe you would have saved me.
I would have done my best.
Yeah. Tell me more about animal communication.
So animal communication is, it's there've been a lot of studies that have been done on it. It's just listening, kind of almost like listening, opening to your heart to the animal, to connect with them. Sometimes we are, and also being very deliberate in the way we engage with them. For example, like I mentioned, telepathy, we're always sending these images. So if you've got a dog and you don't want the dog on the couch, but you're constantly saying, get off the couch, get off the couch, get off the couch, you're sending a mental picture of the couch. So the dog thinks you want him to be on the couch because that's the image that you're sending.
Yeah.
So if you want the dog to be on the floor, you want to say, get on the floor, right?
Right.
So that's an example of how we are always communicating with our animals.
And if we do it right,
And if we do it right, then and understanding, a simple rephrase like that can change the entire relationship between a pet and their owner.
wow, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It really makes sense. All right, but now how do we do it? By here I have the word in my fingertips and I can't find it. By mental process.
But the telepathy.
Telepathy.
Well, I think practice is the biggest thing. So, Matt, what do you see in kind of slowing down our whole bodies, almost like getting into like a meditative state where we're calm, and then what are we seeing from the animal? That's probably the best way to get started with it.
But what do you actually see?
What do I see? It really depends on the animal. We had, and all of the animals will communicate. I have a tank full of fish that communicate with me.
Oh, boy.
I teach animal communication also, and I've used different of my own animals to help students learn, and, the fish were able to send the image of the fact that they can see the outdoors and they can see the TV. And so the students picked up on the fact that because they saw the image of a TV and they saw the image of the outdoors, so that the fish were able to send those images to the students. So that's an example. Another example is my own dog. He wrestles with my cat. The dog's like 30-ish pounds. The cat's about 9, probably not even 9 pounds. But they wrestle and they enjoy it. It's a game for them. So when I'm teaching and I'm using my dog as an example, he told one of the people that cats are chew toys. And he literally does that. He gets the cat and he gets his leg in his mouth and he chews on him. So he was sending the image of a toy and saying that the cat's really not independent. He's there for his pleasure and as a game.
Wow. That's a little different than the mental telepathy between humans.
Yeah, so it's sending an image and it's learning how to translate that image and not making it too specific. Here's another example with telepathy. A few years ago, I was working with a client and I kept saying that this dog loves her red ball. And the client's like, she doesn't have a red ball. I have no idea what you're talking about. And I just said, well, I keep seeing this red ball. I kept calling it a ball. And I said, but maybe you'll think of something later. And then we went on and we talked about a whole lot of other things that she did agree, were part of the dog's life. So she knew that I was really connecting in with her dog. I get an email from her the next day and she says, oh my goodness, it's the red laser pointer. It is her absolute favorite thing in the world. So I was calling it a red ball instead of a red circle-shaped thing. So it's learning how to translate the information that's coming in, like what I'm seeing, and getting that information to the client so that they can make sense of it without trying to define it into something else.
Wow.
Yeah, it takes practice.
May I add to your knowledge here? Be very careful with the red laser printer. or laser.
Yeah, you have to be
marker.
very careful with them.
Yeah, you don't want to blind.
No, no, you definitely don't.
Yeah.
You definitely don't. Yeah,
Yeah.
you do have to be careful.
Yeah, yeah.
I know a lot of people play with them, but yeah, you definitely have to be careful with
Yeah.
the eyes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
oh, yeah. And as a matter of fact, there've been a lot of reports of people using laser pointers at aircraft coming in.
Yeah, I've heard of that, yeah.
And, I don't know if anybody's been hurt, but it certainly, I'm sure, is at least annoying.
Yeah, oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm sure that it would be.
Yeah, yeah. Wow.
Yeah, so those are the specialty things, and then, we kind of didn't talk a lot about the regular things, which is, we do dog walks in the client's home, we do all different types of pet sitting, we make sure that, the house is well taken care of. If you need plants watered, we take care of that. I think I mentioned earlier, I've got 10 employees, they're all background checked, they're insured, they're bonded through the company. They have all been trained by me or my office manager, so we really have a deep staff that they're all animal lovers. And, that's the first thing first.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
They all love animals, and they really enjoy going in and caring for other people's pets when they can't be there.
That's great.
Yeah, it makes my heart so happy. The company itself, it's a lot of fun, and I know I'm making a difference in the world. Not only with the pet sitting, but also, the energy work and the communication. It deepens the bond between the pets and their owners, and that's really what motivates me.
We have 2 minutes left.
Oh, well, time goes by really fast.
Yeah, we've been having a nice conversation.
Yes, we have.
Yeah. Wow.
Who knew this existed in Ashland, right?
Yeah, you're here in Ashland. Do you want to tell people your phone number?
Sure. The phone number is 857-205-1950, and the website is ashlandpetconcierge.com.
Yeah, I hope you get lots of phone calls.
I hope so too. I really, it makes me so happy to be able to help people, whether it's to travel or to just, have a better relationship with their animals.
Yeah, that's important.
It is. It's very important.
I wish I were well enough to own an animal again, but
they are a big responsibility.
yeah, oh yeah. You have to be able to get up in the morning and let them outdoors.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's where I fall apart. I don't want to get up in the morning to begin with. And to have to let an animal out, dog in particular.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a big responsibility. And,
Yeah.
with the pet sitting, that's what we do. We have time ranges on when they need to be there to make sure that the animal isn't left alone for too long and, and gets to take care of them, get outside and take care of their business. It's critical for the animal's health to be able to do that. So, good. Well, thank you so much for having me here. I have really enjoyed this.
And I'm glad you could come, and I have enjoyed it. Well, that's my payoff for all this.
You get to meet other people, right?
Yeah, I like people.
Yeah.
And I especially like people who like animals.
And that would be me. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
There's a town up in New England that is great for families. A place that's green in summer, full of flowers and shady trees. It's a place that's full of history, and it has a future too. It's Ashland, Massachusetts, a town for me and you. For sports we have the Clockers, our super homegrown team. For culture, summer concerts, free music on the green. There's lots of hometown business, and the Ashland schools are great. We do it for the kids here.